All right. Good morning, everyone. This beautiful Saturday morning, July 31st, I believe, 2021. Welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning at the world famous Cajon Pass. This is just one portion of it. Happens to be my favorite, but it's going to be a beautiful but hot July Saturday morning. If you didn't see the first video, I may or may not have posted it. It was too long and I was yapping way too much. This line was originally laid by the California Southern back in the 1880s. I want to say 1888, 86 or 88. I believe the Southern Pacific may have beat the Santa Fe or the California Southern into Southern California first. And I believe the Southern Pacific line through Colton was laid in 1888. I think it was just, to put it in perspective for you history buffs out there, that was just 14 years after General George Custer and his 7th Cavalry was annihilated at the Little Bighorn. Just 14 years after, and these lines here were laid. It's funny how history ties into everything if you're a fan of it and if you study it. But anyways, the tracks, the lines you're actually looking at right now are owned by the Santa Fe, with Union Pacific always sharing and enjoying trackage rights on these lines. I lost the facts on that particular part of it. The Southern Pacific is right up there. They laid their own lines since they couldn't come into negotiations, agreeable negotiations with the Santa Fe at the time. They laid their own line right up there. And I think they did that back in the 60s. Okay. Ever since the Union Pacific took over the Southern Pacific, I don't know the actual details as far as trackage rights and all that's concerned, but maybe someone can comment down below in the comment section. But anyways, what you're looking at right there is on the railroad. On the map, if you're driving, it's the Cleghorn off-ramp, but on the railroad, that's known as Cajon. You'll see black and white pictures in the days of steam or in the 50s of this part of the railroad, right where I'm shooting at right there. There's a siding, and it's still the original siding of, it looked like a little city. It was all little wooden buildings lined up, pressed up against each other, right along the tracks there. Right along the tracks there. And that was the Cajon, on the railroad, that was known as Cajon. It was mainly a stop where trains can water up, pick up their train orders and stuff. But mainly what it was there for was to let the trains cool their brakes down after the descent from on top of the hill. So we're actually on a steep grade. You may not notice it on the video, but it is. This is mountain country. Helpers are a must, period. And I have literally seen with my own eyes, or have been around runaways. We get runaways here, and deadly runaways, and somewhat disastrous multi-fatality runaways. This is serious shit up here. So in particular right here, we had a Santa Fe train coming down the hill there, lost its brakes. Most of the crew bailed out. Some didn't, and they rounded that curve there, and they rear-ended a parked Union Pacific coal train that was parked right here. Of course, the results were disastrous. The crew jumped out of the locomotives on the Santa Fe. However, the locomotive wound up getting derailed and rolling over them. I believe 2 people were lost. And the wreck here it was like somebody's toy train Lionel set, just scattered everywhere. fires, destroyed locomotives. Just that was a good one. And everywhere I can point out were some disastrous runaways, and this is in my lifetime. Of course, we all know about the Duffy Street disaster down the hill there, and that actually wiped out a whole city block, residential street, houses and people in them, along with the train, the locomotives, and the crew. You know, all because of a misunderstanding. You may want to Google it or check it out here on YouTube. Duffy Street, Southern Pacific Duffy Street. I guess you could call it train derailment. That's interesting. That's actually a good one. So check it out when you get a chance. So when I got here earlier in the morning, before I hit McDonald's and got my coffee, there was some train activity. Now it looks like it's starting to calm down. Now the trains used to cool their brakes here and start turning down or turning up retainers. That's where you would see the guys walking on top of the boxcars, the walkways they used to have one time, and they'd go attend to different brake retainers on each car, either set them or loosen them, take them off or adjust them for either to climb up or to climb down. This whole area used to be filled with blue smoke from burning brake shoes. And just around the curve down there, where the smoke would not clear because of the canyon, that is known as blue cut on the railroad for the same reason, because of the blue brake shoe smoke from the smoking brakes of the descending trains once upon a time. Now what I'm noticing, there's a locomotive parked on a siding way down there. That's a little siding. So with that's not a normal occurrence. Actually, it's pretty rare. What's going on there is that locomotive there has issues, probably with its brakes, stuck cylinder, no brakes, air leak, something. But they had to set it out on a siding, and the crews will come back out and work on it, and probably deadheaded right back down the hill. So where we're going today, this morning, I don't know if there's going to be train activity or not, but we're going there, and I'll take you guys along with world famous, known all over the world. If you're a railroad fan anywhere in the world, everyone knows about Cajon Pass. This is the mecca of railroading. This in Tehachapi, and I will do a Tehachapi trip only in the rainy season because it gets green and lush over there. It's just beautiful. Where we're at right now, it's kind of arid desert. No matter rainy season, dry season, doesn't matter. It's always like this, no matter what. We're going out there on the railroad that's known as Sullivan's Curve, world famous Sullivan's Curve. Looks like a small rock outcropping from this video shot. Wait till we get there. I guarantee you it's not small at all. It's going to require a little off-roading. We're going to cross a creek, which I already checked. It's kind of dry right now. But it is a creek that fills up pretty good. And it is a creek that I have gotten stuck in several times. Usually can dig myself out of them. One time I couldn't. It was pretty bad. It was Christmas morning and the creek was high from the snow runoff. And I had to run across all that dirt field and tracks and climb up the hill. Because I always know that on the other side of the freeway here, right about this time of the morning, all the Jeep four-wheeler guys start meeting to go off-roading up in those hills there. And they all have winches. So yeah, I found this couple and they were more than grateful to help me out of a sticky situation Christmas morning here about 5 years ago. And my girlfriend laughed at me and she says, "That's what you get. You should have stuck with us Christmas morning." But whoa, train coming down the hill. So we're gonna keep filming. We're gonna film this train because we can't cross the tracks now. Looks like we got a coal train coming down the hill. BNSF coal trains originate from, if I believe, North Dakota. Either North Dakota or Wyoming, if I recall correctly, or both. So I may cut this tape to keep them short. I may cut this into 3 little quick segments. Right after this train passes by us, I'll cut it off. Where that train is coming down the hill, we'll be going up there here pretty soon. Stick around, please. It's kind of fun. I know I don't have to ask you rail fans, model railroaders, and rail nerds to stick around. Because we all know you will. By the way, I'm a rail fan, rail nerd, and model railroader. Actually, it's not coal, it's some sort of rock aggregate. And it actually looks like ballast. Tell you what, you may not notice it in the video, but the air right now all around me is just saturated with brake smoke. The pungent smell. That was a heavy train, and it had the brakes on the whole time. As you heard all the cars singing there as they rolled by. What you can't see is, and you can't tell, is the air is just saturated with arid brake smoke and smell. Just an example of the little treats hopefully we might have today. I'm gonna shut this off. We'll do another quick little part 2. I'll keep these short and then we'll head home. We're heading right there. Stick around, guys.